Alright, what's up everybody? This is Super Owl 88 bringing you another Black Ops commentary. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about hardcore versus core, which is a topic I don't hear too much about, but before I get into that, when I see a game like this, hardcore search and destroy, I'm like, Hanoi, there's quite a few things I want to talk about. One of the topics I could be talking about is, well, hardcore versus core. I could be talking about search and destroy in general, because I haven't posted a search game yet, and I could be talking about like Hanoi and like why I'm using the silencer and more tactics and search and destroy and stuff like that. But today, you know, out of those four topics, I put them all down on the table, not literally, and just decided, I'm like, you know what, I want to share my opinions on hardcore versus core. So there's a lot of guys out there that play exclusively hardcore, and it's almost like, in its own way, a different community from the core players. I mean, the majority of that guy kills me. That's pathetic. Second chance should not exist. Anyway, there's almost like a different community. People have like different sides completely on how it should be, how it should like work and what takes more skill and whatnot. But I came across one guy the other day in a regular demolition game. I don't even know if demolition is on hardcore, and this dude, he is, well, he's talking some amazing smack. He is telling us how bad we are and how like amazing he is, and how his excuse for everything is that it wasn't hardcore. And he's talking about how you don't know, that this takes more skill. We don't play to win, we play for kills. And so we beat him like 15 times in a row before the dude finally leaves. But he kept going on about how it's not hardcore. I'm like, dude, if you want to leave, go ahead and leave. As much as I never like encourage the people who suck to stay, but he kept looking at like our stats and stuff, and I think I had better stats than him for the most part. But the only stat he cared about was most kills in one game, and I'm like, dude, that's probably like a one-time thing. He's like, no, check out my file share. I have multiple 100-kill games. But like, I'm talking about how hardcore it's like so much easier. I'm like, what? Okay, so what is your reasoning for the skill level being greater in hardcore? And he says, because in core you take 1,000,000 bullets, or he kept saying something about like 1,000,000 bullets or 1,000 bullets. I don't know the number he kept using, but basically his argument is how many bullets you took in core and how quickly people die in hardcore, which I could totally see his point in terms of like defense. Like, yeah, if you don't play smart, you die instantly, while in core sometimes you can make a mistake, get shot at a little bit, and dip out of there and like revive health. And the thing about that is, it's not, I don't know, because I feel like his argument, though it may be good, is pretty much countered by the fact that in core, it takes a lot of skill to be able to keep your sights on a guy, because you can't just hip fire or go like crazy and like shoot all around. And basically in core you gotta keep your sights or hip fire, if you're close enough, on the dude. You gotta follow the target until he's down, which takes a lot of, I don't know, stick control. And while hardcore, I mean, pretty much if the dude doesn't see you're there, you hit him with one bullet across the map. It could be a hip fire, whatever you want to do, the dude's down. It doesn't matter if it's silenced or not. Stopping power in other games didn't matter whatsoever. It's just like, if you see a guy and you can shoot him once, he's down. But this guy seemed to think it wasn't a big deal to be able to aim. He's like, I don't care, in hardcore I just go crazy and he dies like he should in real life. And he kept like comparing it to real life. But anyway, basically I wanted to talk about like hardcore in my opinions and like why I generally don't play it. Now, this is an odd game. I've never played hardcore search and destroy. This is my first game of search and destroy in Black Ops and my first hardcore game in Black Ops, so I had no experience with routes or anything. So for me to do, like, keep in mind, this is my first ever search and destroy game in Black Ops, and I did as good as I did now. I'm sure I'm going to be posting the score up in the title. It's going to be 16-3, just for so you guys will click on it, because 16-3 is a pretty good score, I'd say, especially for doing this. But yeah, hardcore, like, I mean, it is fun, and people do die quicker, and it's less like, why did he take a hit marker, and I'm so upset about this, and like quick scopes will always kill them and stuff like that. There's something about it that just makes me mad, and part of the reason is that because you die so fast, it becomes more like past games, and like it strays farther and farther away from the category of like Halo, where everyone takes a lot of shots. Like in hardcore, it makes a game like Call of Duty where you already die super fast, dying faster, And basically what it comes down to is the host advantage is more ridiculous than it is in any other game mode. And like, other than like a game like Gears of War, hardcore all of a sudden becomes huge on your connection. If a dude just sees you before you, he puts a bullet on you, you have no way to turn around, no way to tell you're getting hit by some dude that like came around the corner before you even could see him, or you apparently went around the corner before you even saw yourself. But it's ridiculous, and that's a big problem for me, because PlayStation Network it's known for its bad connections, and it's uncomparable to the greatness that Xbox Live has in terms of like how all they can get into lobbies, and like I don't know, they deal with a lot less BS, if you know what I mean, like connection wise. While we struggle, we'll have some hosts that just give you one bar, and if I'm going to be in a hardcore game with a low bar, I mean that's a big deal. And a lot of these shots I'm taking this game look super off because it's a theater mode, and for some reason I guess it kind of goes against like my point altogether about like the connection thing, but I was rocking a 1 or a 2 bar this whole game. And yeah, normally in like a respawning game type, if I was being less cautious, it would cost me a lot more deaths, and who knows, maybe it cost me a few in this game, but or maybe I'm just that much of a beast. But for the most part, it's the connection's a big deal. I don't like that a noob can just like hip fire and take you down in a stupid random bullet across the map, or it doesn't. There's no way to like evade anything. And the other point this guy made is probably the most bogus point ever. He's like, you don't survive noob tubes in hardcore. If a noob tube hits you, you die like you should. And I'm like, noob tubes, and when anyone brings up noob tubes as like a valid point in anything, as being like realistic, it just it makes me pretty mad. Like, I wasn't gonna let this guy get off on noob tubes. I'm like, so of course I went off about how noob tubes are gay, and how no one should be using them anyway, and how they shouldn't kill anyone, and if you shoot a noob tube, you should just die. But yeah, I went off about like that and stuff. Looked at this dude's stats. He's okay, so he's a much higher prestige than mine. He's got about 8,000 FAMAS kills, 2,000 or 3,000 grenade launcher kills, and his next highest gun has about 200 kills. So basically, through all his prestiges, he's just unlocked the FAMAS and bought in the noob tube and just rocked that setup forever. And it just shows you, I mean, like, you know, any of his success he's probably had has just been shooting the grenade launcher and killing people who don't have any health because they're playing hardcore. And that kill right there, that was all in my headset, not gonna lie. Get a headset. You would have just died if you didn't have one. Yeah, the game's pretty much coming to a close here, and I might be able to like break down hardcore a little bit more, but it's just something I don't play. Less people play it, and there's just certain aspects of it that I feel like take less skill, and I can be killed from way lamer things that probably like I wouldn't want to die from, like someone that just falls in the second chance. They shoot one pistol shot and you're dead because anything kills you. Or noob tubes are more lethal, or everything is pathetic and annoying. So final score would be 16-9. If you guys like this, please rate, comment, and subscribe. There's my 2 bar, and peace.